Alright, give it up for Halloween Ends. It managed to end. 4 years after the events of Halloween Kills, Laurie is living with her granddaughter Allison and is finishing writing her memoir. Michael Myers hasn't been seen since. Laurie, after allowing the specter of Michael to determine and drive her reality for decades, has decided to liberate herself from fear and rage and embrace life. But when a young man, Corey Cunningham, is accused of killing a boy he was babysitting, it ignites a cascade of violence and terror that will force Laurie to finally confront the evil she can't control once and for all. Alright, we are back with another one of these movie reviews. This time we are going to be talking about Halloween Ends. Halloween Ends is the third installment of this new Halloween reboot that started in 2018. I enjoyed the first one. A decent bit, actually. I thought it was pretty good. I liked how they kind of erased everything after the first movie, and it continues on after that. I really thought that was good at really grounding you back into where that first movie was supposed to kind of put you, into your classic Michael Myers villain slashing his way through town to get to Laurie, even though that's not really what his intentions were in that movie. It's a little weird. Halloween Kills was the second one, and that movie was bad. That movie was not good at all, actually. And now we are at Halloween Ends. We are done. And I gotta say, Halloween Ends made me like Halloween Kills more. Not in a good way, because Halloween Ends was worse than Halloween Kills. I didn't know that was possible. I didn't even know it was possible to go back and like a movie I really hated after seeing a movie that managed to be even worse than the sequel to the first one. Forewarning for anyone that really wants to get in and out of this review, find it quick. What's wrong with the movie? I'll start it with the one point that should turn you away kind of already, and it's that the trailer footage that you get, the trailer for Halloween Ends, is really, you've seen all of Michael Myers. You've seen his role in the movie. He maybe is in this for 10 minutes, maybe more, but that's really giving it benefit of the doubt that he was in that movie for very long. But anywho, let's get to the movie. The Halloween Ends comes off 4 years after Halloween Kills. At the end of that movie, he gets his ass beat by a mob, and he comes out of it even stronger, and kills a lot of people in that mob, kills Laurie's daughter. And so, 4 years after, for some reason, Laurie is trying to get over it or whatever. So this movie really builds itself up like it's gonna be this Michael Myers versus Laurie. I kind of already knew that wasn't what I was gonna get, because I knew that they're not gonna do a whole movie like that. But what I was hoping to get was your decent Michael Myers slasher. He's going around killing people, doing what Michael Myers does. And he doesn't do that. This movie is different than what the trailers lead you to believe is the movie. I don't want to spoil it, because I know there's some people that still will want to go and see this spoiler-free, clean slate, not knowing anything. Even though this movie is just not good. I would say that even down to the writing is bad. The editing is really wonky. You don't really catch that. Even I don't catch that. I don't ever really catch the editing room looking really janky in the final product, but this movie really just jumps around. It feels like scenes that were supposed to connect two scenes together, they took out the transition, and so it just jumps all over the place. It's really sloppy, kind of. I will say there's not much you can say without spoiling the movie, since the movie really hinges on you not knowing anything about it, because the whole plot is not really in the trailer. The only thing they kind of give you is in that IMDb bio description of the movie, with that Corey Cunningham accidentally killing somebody, the whole town going crazy. Really, that's it that I can say without spoiling it. But so I'll try to get through this spoiler-free part pretty quick. It's probably already almost done, because there's not much you can say about this movie without getting too deep. This movie lacks what it literally needs. Michael Myers in a Halloween movie, doing killing, what you go to see a movie like that for. But no, it's a romance movie for the first 2 acts, and then you finally get your last 10 minutes of Michael Myers versus Laurie, and then the movie ends. Halloween ends. It's the only thing it really successfully does is end the movie. Yeah, not a good movie. That's really all I gotta say without spoiling it. But I do want to spoil it. So we are gonna get into spoilers now, I guess. So if you really want to see this movie for some reason, go for it. Which I get why you want to see it. It's the end of the trilogy. It ends the trilogy decently. I will give it that. I'll say the movie starts really good and it ends okay. Everything else in between is pretty much a waste of time. Sorry. But let's get into spoilers. We're just gonna go like a rundown of this movie. There's gonna be a big jump in the timeline of the movie because there's a lot that's just boring and doesn't need to be talked about. The movie starts off with our Corey character babysitting a kid, and it sets it up in a way to where you believe Michael Myers is in the house and is gonna, kill this babysitter, does what Michael does best. The kid is a piece of shit, and he gets the babysitter, Corey is the babysitter, to go into the attic or just a room. Go into a room. And he locks him in there. And Corey starts freaking out because, you don't want to be trapped in the fucking room in the dark. And so he starts kicking the door to try and get it open as the kid's laughing. Like it's all the kid just being a little shit. He kicks the door down a bit too hard and it knocks the kid backwards off the railing of the stairs and he falls to his death. And I loved it. After that, it's just like this cheesy slow-mo. The kid like explodes on impact on the ground. The minute, like literally the parents open the door and the first thing they see is this kid drop on the ground and die. It's funny because it's dramatically funny. You can't show me a kid getting hit by a door, falling off the rails of the stairs, and blowing up upon impact for the parents to immediately walk in slow motion, scream and run and yell, "What have you done?" I'm not taking it seriously, I'm sorry. And no one else in the theater did either because it garnered a laugh. But I liked it because it was cheesy and it was silly and it was like an old slasher, just outrageous. And I thought that's what we were going to get because it slams to title right after. And what I originally thought was cool was I was like, oh cool, they did the intro to be like the third Halloween, Season of the Witch. Not a movie I've seen, but a movie that I later heard was awful. And so I was like, why did they do that? So anyways, he kills this kid. It cuts to some time forward. The whole town hates Corey because he killed the kid. It's been ruled an accident, so he's not like in jail. Throughout the movie, he's questioning like if he's really a bad person for doing that, or if there's like an underlying evil within him, because we like that word in the franchise. And so that's like a big part of the movie is Corey, and he's really like the main character alongside Laurie Strode, who's just doing her own thing. She's writing a memoir. She meets up with some people. She bumps into like the old cop friend at the store from Halloween Kills, and they have a good conversation. But something that confused me was that like there's a lot of people that go up to Laurie and they tell her that it's her fault for enticing Michael Myers and antagonizing him, making him come out of hiding and go after people. I don't remember her doing that at all. They make it sound like she like went on the news and publicly announced like, "Come after me, Michael." She never did that, at least not to what I remember. I don't think she ever did anything later to ever entice him to come out and get her. The first movie even kind of shuts that down by saying that Michael Myers never went after Laurie Strode. He just wanted to kill anyone. And it was the doctor that kind of like picked him up and drove him to Laurie's house and was like, "You need to do this." And Michael didn't care. And so there was never... I don't get that. I don't get the people going after Laurie and saying that it's her fault. I get them going after Corey because he killed a kid. But the whole going after Laurie I didn't think made any sense. Laurie introduces Corey to Allison, this is where I get into that kind of like editing thing, is it's really just a lot of jumps in between. She immediately is in love, infatuated with Corey, to the point where Corey literally, after we're skipping around, Corey gets beat up by high schoolers, meets Laurie because Laurie like helps him. He stabs their tires and is like, "Yeah, we got him." And then Laurie takes him to the hospital to meet Allison, who works at the hospital because Laurie wanted to hook Allison up with a cute boy, and then Allison immediately falls in love or whatever. The kids come back to harass Corey, and they throw him off a bridge, and he lands in this ditch area where there's this homeless guy and this tunnel where Michael Myers has been sitting for all these years, weakened, not as strong, even though, like, the last movie ended upwards of his strength. I don't get it. I don't know why they decided to do that, but whatever. Corey gets dragged into the tunnel by Michael Myers. Doesn't kill him for some reason. Grabs him after he's trying to leave. Looks into his eyes. Has flashbacks to him killing the kid. And lets him go. Michael Myers doesn't kill Corey for no reason. We don't know why. And then after Corey leaves the tunnel, there's a homeless guy that goes up that pulls a knife on him, saying that he's the real Michael Myers, and Corey freaks out and he stabs the guy and kills him, which is the first, like, actual kill he does. It was kind of in self-defense. It's this little frail old man with, like, a scalpel, and Corey stabs him like 6 times to get him to die. But going back to the whole Allison, after Corey kills that homeless guy, he goes and meets up with Allison and tells her that he killed somebody. I'm not sure if he was talking about the kid or if he was talking about the homeless guy, because Allison doesn't give a shit that he just confessed to murder. She immediately, just consoles him or whatever, and it's like, it's okay, and it's like, is it? What? You just met this guy and he confessed murder. And that's, the movie just time skips, I think. That's the only explanation, is that it just time skipped without really telling you. You just gotta assume that they spent a lot more time together to connect. But to connect to a point where he says that he killed somebody and you don't ask any questions. Not a single question whatsoever to him saying that he killed somebody. Whatever. It goes on, this dumb, romantic plotline that I don't care about. And that's just the whole movie. The whole movie is this romance that I don't care about until, like, Corey finally snaps fully and goes and does, like, this tag team killing with Michael Myers. Corey ends up leading a dead body into the, No, he leads Allison's ex-boyfriend or someone just trying to hit on her to the tunnel and, like, helps Michael Myers kill this guy. And I kid you not, when Michael Myers, like, kills this first guy, he, like, powers up and shakes. And I was like, whatever. He gets stronger, I guess is what this movie's trying to say. So after he gets his kill and gains a bit of his strength back, even though in the last movie at the very end he kills a whole crowd of people and gets his strength anyways, whatever. Corey and Michael go out to do some tag team killing. Like, they do it once, and then it immediately cuts to what I thought was them on a motorcycle. Which I wish what was in the movie. Which actually might have been how Corey had to transport Michael Myers to their place of where the victims live. They might have needed to ride the motorcycle together, which is a funny thought. But it gets to a point where Corey goes and beats up Michael Myers and takes his mask, and it is Corey with the mask in every scene of the trailer that you see Michael Myers killing a victim, except for one, maybe. Michael Myers stabs that one chick to the wall, but that's really all I remember when it comes to Michael himself killing somebody. Most of it just went to Corey. Corey went on his own after with Michael Myers' mask and did the killing. And that's what's dumb, is, like, the minute I saw that they were going with this Corey route, I immediately kind of already guessed that they were going to try to pull this shit, that it was Corey doing the killing and not Michael Myers, for the most part. But Corey gets kind of pissed off because Laurie is now like, you're a crazy guy. He gets pissed off. He goes to her house to try and kill her. She fakes a suicide, which is that scene in the trailer where she's pointing the gun at the door opening, and she's like, gotcha. It's not even Michael Myers, whatever, it's stupid. It's Corey. She shoots him twice. He falls down the stairs. She goes down and beats him up, which I liked. I liked that part. I liked that Laurie was treating him like he was stupid, because he is stupid. And I was like, all right, if you give me the scene of like Laurie literally pulling this guy by the hair and being like, you are dumb, stop, maybe I would have been like, all right, the movie's acknowledging that no one cares about this guy and that he's being stupid and it's all about Michael Myers. But no, Corey gets the last laugh by stabbing himself in the neck before Allison, the granddaughter, can walk inside and see it. And in the most like criminal position ever, Laurie takes the knife out like with the backhand so she can pull it up like that right when Allison walks in, so she can just be like, huh, and it looks like she killed Corey. And Allison, who seems to have forgotten everything about the last two movies, just doesn't care. And instead of Laurie pointing out, like, hey, do you see that this guy is dressed up like Michael Myers, like, with his mask? Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you on his side? She doesn't say that. She just freaks out and cries. And Allison runs away. And then Michael Myers comes into the house to get his mask back. Then fight Laurie. And then you get the fight. And the fight's cool. It just cuts. It's so quick. I could have watched the last, like, 10, maybe even 5 minutes of the movie, and I would have seen it all. It would have been worth it. It would have been much more worth than sitting through this love story nothing. Surprisingly, actually, Laurie wins the fight with the help of Allison, who jumps in at the last minute to help out, which is dumb. She shouldn't have been there. Laurie pins Michael down with knives in a fridge, takes off his mask, and slits his throat. And then Allison runs in and, like, breaks his arm or whatever. And they kill him. And they do this really weird scene in the movie where they strap his body on top of a car, and there's this one cop that's like, we need to, this is not how we do things. We need to do it according to the law. And the cop from the last movie was like, tonight we won't. And it's like, okay. So the whole town follows these cars after just being like, fuck you, Laurie, you're stupid for enticing him, even though you didn't. The whole town follows the car with the body on top, and they all watch as they, well, not even just watch. They do that scene from, like, Spider-Man 2 where they all carry his body and move it along. And it's like, is Michael Myers Jesus? Like, what's happening? And they throw him in a grinder, like, you know, the car things, the gears that fucking crush whatever. That's what they throw his body in. And up until that moment, I was like, Laurie's dead. Like, she's gonna die. For a second, I thought she was standing in the grinder with Michael Myers and that they were both just gonna go down together, which would have been stupid, but whatever. They kill Michael Myers. He gets shredded. You see it. So he's dead. And Laurie is free. And the movie is over. She finishes her novel. The one thing I like about, well, I guess not the one thing, but something I liked is that in the memoir, Laurie writes something along the lines of evil doesn't die or do this or do that. It changes shape, which I thought was cool because Michael Myers is regularly referred to as just the shape. And then the last scene, the last shot, is of Laurie's house with Michael Myers' mask, like, sitting on the couch or whatever. So she still has the mask. Some people are taking that as, like, Laurie is now the evil one. I think that was an alternate ending, too. But I don't know. I don't think the movie really focused enough on that to really make me believe that. And that's really all this movie really boils down to. I know earlier I was like, it really seems like I want this movie to never have been made. But I liked the first one, and I now like the second one. Because I really feel like the third one should have gone more the route that the second one went, where it was just Michael Myers going around town, killing anyone he sees, and you get cool kills, and you build something off of that, at least. Yeah, the movie tries to set up a lot of, like, different ideas that probably sound good if you were writing them on paper, but they just didn't execute them well. They didn't really follow through with a lot of them either. Like, the Corey stuff could have been nice, but where's Michael Myers? Why isn't he in this movie? Dumb. Dumb movie. That's really it. Really, if you really want to see this movie still, if you just want to see how it ends, I would honestly say just go on Peacock and watch it there instead of seeing it in theaters. Other than that, that's really all I got to say about this movie. Sorry if you liked it, but that's about it.